Okay, well, this is part 2 of A Minute with Mud, episode 31, on hoping for a better days. Hoping for better days. So, yes, I am definitely high now. And inside, I don't know if there's much of a view. So now it's raining. And I've kind of forgotten where I was yet. I know I was getting into the positive aspects of learning those hard, painful things and feeling them, like actually experiencing them. And then listening to all these other people that have shared their wisdoms in the way that I don't know how to share mine about it. But I did complete my mission of the 31 days in March doing videos. I still have to upload the last 4 of them. So this is, I guess, a continuation. So I'll just have to post them all together, but still, it was raining and it was leaking through the railroads. So I think the idea that was brought up of some kind of staffing service for nonprofits doing things together, maybe, and I think that was on the broad line of how to get it done or started in that way. But as far as the Life Could Happen .shop part of it, the having the podcast from the original owners, the showing of the proceeds, and then where the proceeds would go if you purchased it, things like that. High-tech marketing methods. So, inspiring people to do that, and then playing the game with it, and then creating their own unique additions to it that work with, because if it doesn't work, it won't work, and when it works, I really appreciated that Simon Sinek, and I'll post that description below too, on helping another person, how that he's talked about a story of how they helped somebody out, like picked up something for them or did something for somebody walking down the street, and this other guy stopped him and said, thank you for doing what you did, that was cool what you did or something, and then he said that guy probably went out and helped another person too, or held the door, or did something like that. And the 8 1-ups and the 8 let goes part of it, to keep it simple, because Albert Einstein said something about, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, then you've overcomplicating it, or it's too much, or something like that. In a way, is what I gather. So, I want the game to be for 8-year-olds and up, a virtual reality game of life giving life, where it's probably like an online thing, but I think that AI technology, I mean, they say you can do it through contact lenses now. So I'm like, whoa, you can see virtual reality with contact lenses now. Supposedly. Makes sense. But so that kids can watch other people doing good deeds and helping other people too, wherever they're at, and be more guided in that way. And then, like, another person was talking about the neurogenics of your brain and how everything kind of stays there, like after you take the virtual reality off, the Tetris effect thing, like you'll have dreams about the games, and I've done that, but that would stay with you for a long time after, so that you're not even in really real life anymore, like being able to use your senses in a commingling kind of way, but in a mutually beneficial way. And I remember a 9-year-old kid at the Kitchen at one of these festivals that I love to go to, because they have the conscious medicine music and the tribes and the people, and I definitely want to give a shout out to them, because their family, to me, I mean, it's like an automatic family situation. There's things going on here in every family. There's difficulties, for sure. I didn't get to taste what a calm, more normal family was like until I moved in with my ex's family when I was younger, and they were Mormon and beautiful, beautiful people of all, like a lot of them, like they just beautiful. And so I fell into it and was accepted. I was a mess. Hell, I was freaking suicidal and teenage crazy, I want to die kind of guy for years and most of my life, and get that guy out of here kind of thing. Hi, okay, whatever you want to call it. I definitely expressed myself, and I'm sure you can tell now, maybe, how I was a lot. But I mean, drinking alcohol is the worst drug ever. Like the worst shit ever. And especially with a leaky gut. I mean, Christ. We're fermenting everything anyways. But I'm trying oat bran. Oat bran seems to be like one of the good ones. Because you can do a lot with that stuff. And I eat lemons and things. Like, I'm getting healed, more healed. Do a lot of enemas now. I'm going back to the enemas because I just am. I'm tired of all of it. Even though just a good fasting, I think, helps a whole lot. That kicks your bodies into survival mode, and yeah, all the freaking hypotheses and hypothecation, whatever word you want to use. I wish I could remember the word James had said to me last night. It was succulent, or succulent. It's some weird word that meant happiness. Like, and just saying the word made you be like, what? I'll have to hit him up for that, and I'll post it below if I can. If I can find out what it was again. Word for the day. So, I mean, that's kind of the mentality and the good vibes, the good feelings, the ones that are real. And there's nothing in between. And, the distractions and things like that. I mean, eventually virtual is kind of going to be there, I think. Because why wouldn't we want to see real in real time? In a way. Instant gratification, it's all part of the growth genetical structure. I mean, this shit's happening right now. there's billions of people's minds hitting, like thinking things at the same time. Wow. Yeah, that's what freaked me out. That freaked me out. Oh, well, at first it was just like, yes, like beauty. And then it was just like, wait a minute. And then all the divisions sort of happened. 1 divided by 0, error, incomplete. On my phone it says something like, you cannot divide 1 by 0. Like it gives you the whole, like, okay. So, I guess I'm just trying to say that I would like to find more people like that too. And I saw posts of people grouping up with their check thing, with the Trump sending out money for, or, government monies, tax, blah blah stuff, and they're grouping up though to get like land and do something, which is awesome because I like the Peerless Support Mission. Yeah, the Peerless Support Mission something, where going in circles on a train, helping people out. All that stuff seems so much cooler now, in a way, like if it was really happening. To me, anyway. I mean, like, this is my own imagination. So what do I got? You got yours, I got mine, I got my views of you, all that. It's really pretty daunting, and like, why? There's a big why to it. Start with Why, Simon Sinek too. That was a good audiobook. I know the why though. The why is for all of us to be like united and one, and all them implications of them words, they're outdated as well. They seem outdated to me as well. Because it just is what it is, kind of like as is. But we can work with what as is. I guess. A little easier mentally, maybe, consciously. I don't know. Like I was saying, I'm just still trying. I want to finish the Professional Dreamer book and just make it like 3 chapters, but what the hell I was writing years ago when I was still doing different drugs and was still searching, still hurting, struggling with others, trying to help out, kind of thing. Giving my all away, like just giving myself away, and not really having an identity or knowing who I am really for a long time. Like empty vessel, like a sponge, very much like a sponge. So I came out just blank. I was blank. So, yeah, it's been a long time. But I think the angels and guides and spirits, generator of diversity, I mean, I could talk for hours and hours. People that have met me and know that. But it's time to do something, and I hope that I can get, the internet set up and build a store that with all the proceeds and all the profits from that, it just goes places. It's a suggested vote thing, like a vote to suggest where the money goes, maybe make it legal that way kind of deal. I mean, there's red tape to everything, but I've thought through a lot of it, and they can't argue with it. It's like, if you can't argue with it, then good. Let it be. Because that's what people want to do anyway. They want to be alive and healthy, and being conditioned to be sick all the time isn't going to be beneficial. But we got to figure out how to do it our own selves. And when you're aware of things or have the knowledge of, that we're only 10% human cells, for one, that nature and life and Earth is still here. regardless of how digital and just detached from that we get, we're still in it. And it's got to be a lot more than just a prayer or, best wishes, good thoughts, all that too. I mean, I agree. They say that on April 4th, the 4th of April or something, 4/4/20, 4/4/2020. That's funny. I love the association though. I mean, I've heard though that it was Hitler's birthday on 4/20 too. I don't even know. All these, fake news and fake everything. I mean, the whole thing is fake. It's been designed that way. It's cool though that we get to do what we want with it. Like the whole free will. But I mean, pushing the envelope and stretching the boundaries is pretty healthy for us to do right now. It pretty much always is, isn't it? Universal corrections. That's the whole part of the perfect of Planet PPDayZ, is that the universe wouldn't exist if it didn't correct itself, right? So, well, let's get to it kind of way. And then for a whole many years I'm like, well, yeah, but how could anyone do it? Because I could go off on all kinds of different. I would love to do music. I would love to do this, that. I mean, I've had to pass up so many things like self-sacrifice in a way, just for all of us. And to see people doing that, like that whole pay it forward and nobody's left behind. And nobody gets left behind, If pay it forward, if everybody paid it forward, nobody would get left behind. And it's pretty simple, but we gotta want to do it too. And I think the whole social structure and the whole increasing of narcissistic survival methods is like, look, guys, we don't have to do that, Like still, I mean, it's all good. It just takes that initial push to say, I'm a guardian harmonizer of the the Good Hearts Army. Like I'm freaking trying to help build the world, and every action I'm doing in it, it works. Like it's fun. It's that joy, that serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, all of the good ones, and a lot less stress. Because you're like, hey, people got my back, who's got my back kind of thing. And, I love the progress that maybe it'll make in time. So I've got to do a mastermind group with all of the people that are into it. And I love that I've kind of already done that with the people that I've met and spoke with, being like, what do you think? And got a whole lot of different answers. I mean, if you don't like it, the whole thing is then why? How could I make that part of it work? And so I've done that for so long that it's a completely different business model in the first place. You can't go B corporation, really. You can't do this, that. And people, like even consultants and business entrepreneur people, I can tell, and I've spoken with a few that are like, yeah, but it's so different. It's so much different than normally way business dudes that it doesn't fit. Like I remember the Google guy being like, what do you want to do with these websites? Because it's gharmy.us, lifecouldappen.shop, and harmonizer.life. And I'm like, okay, well, I just trying to change the world. How do you... 2-minute pitch. I have a 2-minute pitch that I tried once. I have the original video. I was just trying to do make 100 million off of selling lifecouldappen.com. Now it's like 3,000. I think they want for it, because I haven't paid up. That one's gone. Even though I had originally business cards. The one business card that I lost my wallet over right before I had to fly back from Hawaii that time. Holy shit. But Hawaii was cool, I guess. And bring me back to the ground. Fucking 30 days homeless in Hawaii. Blessing more of a curse. What curses at times. That's all. I mean, I can just remain normal, do whatever I want to do, but honestly, if it feels beautiful to lose myself in the service of someone else, like when you're really being like, yeah, I'm helping this person, like really helping them, not just like here's $1 or something, but in a behavioral sense too, and fun. Because you're like, well, shit, what 8 let goes to 8 1-ups. If you're buying life-affirming product, I mean, everything has to be life-affirming. Completely life-affirming. Whether it's against death dealing or not, that's debatable. I mean, vigilante and shit, V for Vendetta stuff, I mean, it's all good. I get it. But it has to be more universally acceptable, I guess. Kind of like the highest moral code of ethics is like morality kind of thing. Like, you know, the whole test of kind of would the mother kill the baby if they were going to get shot in some war test, you know, I mean, concepts in a way of the dark and the light at the same time. That's the whole harmonizing part of it. You know, you have North and South Pole and then the equator, and it's constantly spinning and it's doing this thing. So our planets, but like I like how Don Miguel Ruiz, him and his son have done amazing work with some things if you've ever looked it up. But he says the planet's infected. It's because of our dreams, and Toltec means artist. I mean, that was the closest thing to, after my coma, those were kind of the closest things that I could relate with, in a way of how it was, how it is at its source, at the bottom, at the real bright top bar or dark bottom, both at the same time. That I'm like, okay, fine, and, you know, and then I studied astrology books right away and was like, I don't know about all this. I tested it. I was like, well, maybe. But I mean, some of it was actually pretty accurate. I was like, all right, it was still debatable. But I do agree that every star in the sky has an energy, and it's shining in all directions. So we have these planets spinning on all directions too, and it's like, whew. So our options with energy and the path it travels is vast, super vast. We can only even see like 10% of everything that exists, kind of thing, based on like all these microscopic or quantum, you know, the physics of everything. So if we're constantly to create as much harmony as possible, we have to be doing harmonious things every day, all day. And it's not like freaking, I mean, it has to be serious. You have to take it serious. So you have to be initiated into the thing, you know, somehow, in a building a fort kind of thing. And the disagreements and then the whole politics of things, I mean, we're screwed. We're kind of screwed if we don't come up with our us and do it together. I feel, anyway. I mean, maybe it would still work out, but would it, if there was like 5G things and all kinds of these energy manipulations and mind fucks from all these higher powered people, I mean, would it really work out if we listen to them? Because I don't understand it. I feel like we need to do us, as is, with nature in mind, with nature in our everyday daily lives. I think that would help a shit ton. Like when I found that grounding video from the Giving Tree at Harmony Park at this festival, and watched that and talked about grounding. Well, there's serious implications. My friend was like, "This is the first time I got to go barefoot." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Like I haven't yet, but I mean, there's a stimulation there where there's the sun and the barefoot. You do that like 20 minutes a day, not even, and cold showers. I've been doing those. Those things are good. I mean, we kill off all the stuff that we've poisoned inside of us. Because, man, I drank tons of liquor and alcohol and drugs and done a shit ton of harm to my body on purpose half the time. I mean, I stabbed myself, I cut myself, I've done all these things to be like, fuck this, I don't want to be here. And then I just, I don't know, I'm going to work on the things that I can work on. I just wonder, is there people that are really down with that still? I mean, they can have their own things, My friend Demison, with his motivations and ideas and things that he's done, is pretty inspirational too. Ecopreneurships and things like that, where he's got like a whole bunch of ideas for different eco-friendly kind of business opportunities, the profit for the people stuff. And if we put all of these things under one umbrella and played it however it was mutually beneficial to everybody, and the whole unities of it all, if we can design that on our own, and I've got a pretty good idea, I guess, that most people say. I mean, shit, man, I'm going by what people help me do, because what else is there? I mean, there's like the first breath and the last breath, but the energy keeps cycling. It's still coming back, and then we're coming and going all the time. And this COVID-19 virus thing isn't the real virus. Like, it's not the real sickness. It's just what's waking us up out of it. And then the whole market stuff. I mean, how long do we really got to go through with all that when we can do this together? I'm minimalist, but I was talking about to my friend about how, it's good that you can sleep on a concrete floor or not have anything, but if you decorate it, then you're wrecking the environment most of the time. So I'm like, hey, it's all good. How much technology do we have? We can make plastic out of corn, you know what I mean? Like, all kinds of things, like all the ingenious inventions, like indestructible.com, I think, is one of the good ones. And so who cares if you're decorating things and buying things and stuff, if it's organic and recyclable and permaculture and legit and like that, instead of wrecking the environment on the cheap and polluting the earth, then I'm all for that. Like, using hemp and shit, hemp can make almost everything. So, that's my concepts on it. And yeah, I'm sharing this kind of like for the first time in the more heartfelt me. Then, I mean, I can invite people, and I'll have to. I guess I'll have to. I remember my mom saying I can't do it by myself too and stuff, and can't. So the mastermind thing with Dale Carnegie and all that, and how he studied all them people, we got to get together and do those things. And so I'm going to try to set up a group. And if you want to be any part of the addition to building this game, and feel good, everything has to feel good. It has to be win-win-win. and design it and then start it and stuff. So I'm going to be doing the products. I'm going to try to find 8 of them before I upload the store. But, each website has its own purpose, if you get what I'm saying. Like the social part of it, there's like 8 timelines and real time. And, I don't know if 8's too many, but I mean, it's the in-depth part of the game, kind of like a role-playing game. Like if you've ever played games, okay, there's a lot of types, and like Civilization is one of my favorite ones, kind of thing. I play the old school ones once in a while. Like all I play is Battlefield 1942, I think it is, on my computer, keeping it simple. I've tried the digital virtual stuff a little bit, and I'm like, not my thing. I like to just keep it calm, and because I don't want to get addicted to them. I remember my cousin saying that we were part of the only generation that wasn't going to be addicted to video games. It had the choice, and then I learned recently that they call it Xennials, because I was born in 80, and they were like 77 to 83. Xennials, it's funny. But it's kind of true, because I'd like dial-up phones, but I also have the smartphone, and had the experience with it. I mean, that's the point. And if we're not going to actually experience things, then how are we going to know? But we all kind of know what we really want to do. And I believe I feel safe to say, because there's a lie in every belief. It's safe to say that if you really did what you really wanted to do, it would benefit humanity. It would be life-affirming. It would help other people. And for really, really. Not just do your job and this is what you have to do and follow suit kind of thing. So, but there's also, you can still stay in the system that's already there, or even if it gets changed. I mean, the entrepreneurialism, I really appreciate how Bruce Barton, for one of the first advertising agency guys, and that book of the 7 successful laws of success, spiritual laws of success, Joe Vitale did the book. He was homeless in Dallas, and he did research on him and studied him, and then he's like, wow, why is everybody hiding this guy? He used to be a family name. It's The Man Nobody Knew was about Jesus, and everybody had that book back in the day, and then all of a sudden it disappeared kind of thing. So it was kind of like building something off of belief, I suppose. Just like how anything's created. Thoughts are things, and I would like to be able to collaborate with everybody else too. So I'm gonna do my best to do there could be a red team, blue team thing going on where one person agrees, one person doesn't. But I'm gonna begin to reach out pretty soon this month in April. It's April Fools. Happy April Fools. Apparently April Fools is when they change all the tax things. I mean, the census has to happen, that kind of thing. Maybe that's what this was too. My friend was mentioning about how maybe it's a census thing. They want us all in our house so they can check us. Who knows? But I just want to say blessings to everybody, and I will hopefully soon be able to invite you to more participate at all, I guess, to begin with. But I do want to stress that this has been thought of for a long, long time. It's unconventional. It's definitely counterintuitive. But it works, because I'm pretty sure it does, and I feel it, and I've heard it from other people too. So I'd like to be able to get going on it and hear your ideas. If anybody has any suggestions or additions to creating a game with that in mind, using 3 websites like that, the social shopping and infotainment kind of thing, and playing a real life game, and eventually incorporating the virtual reality part of it, with the finances and funds. Like, the money comes back to you if you're doing the best. Like, if you have a lot of humanitarian things going on, you're posting it, you're sharing it, you're buying things, you're participating, you're going to get more approval in the game. You know, like, you'll get more leveling up, and that means you'll get the votes when the 10 million part of it gets given away, because it'll all be added up while you're purchasing the products, and then the money doesn't have to really go anywhere. It could stay someplace, or it could get split up here and there and there and there, but until the 100 million is raised, and then there you go. It's all real time, who's doing what, and counting up the votes of everybody who got like the most likes on the things they did, or approvals and things. And then also the part of it with the mockery part of it, okay, maybe not PC, but everyone gets their own journalists. Like, the nonprofits that would be a part of it would get their own journalists, so they could do campaigning in a mockery, fun, not so much mockery, but to me it's a mockery of how they've manipulated the voting system, and how it could actually be cool if they didn't appoint people and only let us vote for them, and then split up all these votes and all these people. It's like, that doesn't make any sense for anybody choosing the leader of anybody. So my views on that one. Anyhow, praying for everybody, doing what I can, but I'm also doing me. I have to remind myself that. So thank you for taking this A Minute with Mud journey, and I'm going to eventually be adding up the descriptions of all of the videos I did. I've added much more information of where I've been and what I've seen, and that I've seen as like a genuine help, and in a guardian harmonizer kind of way. So my love, genuinely, sincerely. Thank you for going on this little high with me. And don't hate, no hate, unless you really, really gotta. But it's all love and it's all reflection. If you don't like something about anybody else, look at yourself. Look inside yourself first, because honestly, you'll gain much more enlightenment and ability to solve the problem. You can't clean it if you can't see it. Plain and simple. Won't harm love, can't cheat truth. Be beautiful. Blessings.